Here we are again, Patriots fans. It's draft night, and we've taken another player that none of us have ever even heard about. Now, I was really upset when I heard about the pick, and I think I'm still reeling about it, but I wanted to get you guys my thoughts and figure out where the heck are we going and what are we doing? I want to set the stage first. We're a playoff team with a quarterback on a rookie deal in a division and a conference that's currently undergoing an arms race to get the most talent and trying to get as many guys on a roster for a salary cap that's just not going to be big enough to get all the talent you need. We see the Dolphins getting Tyreek Hill. We see the Broncos getting Russell Wilson. We're seeing all this happen in our conference. And even in our own division, we see people paying top dollar for all this talent. Think about like Von Miller, Tyreek Hill, as I mentioned, and the Jets, who let's get into right now. The Jets had an awesome draft. They brought in Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson. All three are top 5 or top 3 players at their respective positions in the draft. The Bills brought in a cornerback who can likely be elite at the next level and makes a great pairing with Trey White on their outside. And of course, the Dolphins, their first round pick was Tyreek Hill. What we saw from the Patriots tonight in drafting Cole Strange was a continuation of years and years of Bill Belichick and the Patriots organization valuing culture fits and guys they think they can play versus the talent on the board and the talent where they're drafted on the board. Both of those things really matter for teams trying to build and compete for Super Bowls. That second one, drafting where the value is, I think is so important, and I don't think Bill Belichick and the Patriots are actually appreciating what that means. Every year we say, oh, the Patriots are trading down, they're adding value, yet we're continuing to take guys around 2 rounds, maybe even 3 rounds ahead of where they're projected or where we can get them. As we see in this video from Sean McVay,
Chattanooga to the first round. Hey, how about that? In our time watching him at 104, maybe.
they thought he would be available at 104. Many teams in the league probably thought he was a 3rd, 4th round pick, and we took him in the 1st. This brings us back to so many guys and so many picks in recent years that have just been overdrafted. Thinking about Sony Michel coming out of Georgia, he was a great player, but he and Nick Chubb were both comparable at the time, and there really wasn't a need to take a running back at that time. Thinking about N'Keal Harry, Joanne Williams, both guys we used heavy draft capital on. None of had the hype or the talent around them as other players at their positions in that draft. Think about Kyle Duggar from Lenore-Rhine. No one had even heard of him, and we traded down instead of taking Kenneth Murray, who went to the Chargers. We got Kyle Duggar. I'm not saying he's a bad player by any means, but no one knew who he was in the 2nd. We probably could have got him in the 3rd or the 4th. And then we look at last year's draft. Mac Jones, obvious star quarterback, 1st round pick, great. And Barmore's another great pick. Value for where he was drafted, at the right spot, and a player that fits your needs and is really, really good. We'll forget about all the other players. I like Cameron McGrone, but we don't know anything about him yet. And I think what makes this hurt the most is that the Patriots have been so good at getting late round guys, 3rd round or later, that can 1, make a high impact, 2, be really good players, not only for their draft capital, but in the entire league, and then 3, getting guys that other teams want to pay. Let's take a look at some of the guys that we've gotten late that are really, really good. Okay, we're going to scroll up. Last year's draft, we don't really know a lot yet. Ramondre Stevenson looks like he's pretty good. Year before, Mike Onwenu, one of the best picks in the 6th round, is a starter for our team right now and will be for the future at a really cheap deal. The year before, not a great draft, but Damian Harris and Jake Bailey, both good values, 3rd round or later. Jawan Bentley has been a multiple year starter for the Patriots. Braxton Berrios we didn't keep, but he's tearing it up for the Jets right now. Going back to 2016, we got Malcolm Mitchell in the 4th round. If he didn't have injury concerns, he would still be a starting receiver for the Patriots. Landon Roberts and Ted Karras, both multiple year starters. Look at 2015 with Shaq Mason and Trey Flowers. Awesome picks there. The Patriots have such a strong history of taking and developing mid-round guys into stars, but we're not taking the mid-round guys anymore, and that ruins their value. If the Patriots want to continue drafting and building teams that are going to compete with the current AFC, you either have to, one, trade up and take the valuable players and plan to hit on every one, like we did in the past couple years with our first round picks, between Chandler Jones, Donta Hightower, Nate Solder, Malcolm Brown, all great players. Or we need to trade down even more and take more shots at these guys who were clearly good at drafting. The value's just not there where we're taking these guys, and that's going to hurt us in the long run. Now that we understand the context of the Cole Strange pick, where the Patriots are going, and where the conference and the division are going, let's watch the tape, let's watch who he is as a player, and see if we can pick up any other details. So he's number 69, which is great. Playing left guard, able to pull and do a great job. I love his face mask. I don't really think that should factor into his draft at all. It's out in the run. Good touch. So overall, that's a really short film segment, but it does seem like he can be a really good player at the next level. And the more I read about him, the more I really like him. He's a competitive player. He's a mountain man, apparently, with a lot of really good traits, and can instantly become a starter for the Patriots because we really don't have anyone else who can play left guard. I've seen comps for him that compare him to Joe Thuney, who was a really good starter for the Patriots and then just got paid by Kansas City. So do I hate Cole Strange as a player? Absolutely not. I think he's actually going to be a really, really strong asset for the Patriots. He'll play all 5 years, and we'll probably re-sign him to a deal. That being said, we could have had him in the end of the second, the end of the third, anywhere in there. The Patriots, for a team that loves to trade down, absolutely should have either taken a different player at 29, someone who won't be there at our next pick, someone like Nakobe Dean, or someone like, Jermaine Johnson, who's now going to be playing in a division rival. And then we still could have had this guy later on. I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic about the Patriots, still giving Bill Belichick the benefit of the doubt, but I really am not happy with how we're valuing players in the draft and how we're just not going after the guys that should be drafted where they should be drafted. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you comment, subscribe, do all the things. Let me know how you're feeling about the Patriots and any other teams in the draft you saw. Peace.